this journey, everything comes at you so fast, and even trying to celebrate with your guys who just did something incredibly difficult together is so rewarding and gratifying. But we have so much ball to play, and so it's hard to even put words around what you want to say to this group because, like I said, our journey is hopefully 3/4 of the way done. But last night, as a staff, we have a group here at Religion of Sport and Paramount Plus that's doing a documentary, and we saw a quick trailer or a brief first cut, and I'd forgotten so many things about this group. Where we started in November, the Wake Forest game, the TCU game, and then into Vegas. It just seems like years ago, but to see our guys go through this journey and continue to take turns to support each other, to love each other like brothers, it's been amazing. And as long as we don't change, we have a lot of ball in front of us. And, we've heard a lot about this super team, and as a staff, we felt like we had a super team, and so we went back and we looked at it, and we're Ken Palm, I think 11 preseason. I think that was the highest metric. We're AP 7. I think most of the publications had us right around 7, which is not typical for a super team or superpower, whatever you want to call it. But these guys, because they're super teammates, they become a super team. Like our secret sauce is how great of teammates these guys are. Period. We've tried to take a step back and analyze this group, the steps, the processes, and the only thing that we feel like we're elite at is being a great teammate every minute of every day. We still have a lot to improve on as far as the basketball side, as far as the growth as players, as people, but we're all moving in the right direction. So what an accomplishment by our guys to go undefeated in the Big Ten on the road and to only drop one game at home and go 19-1 through the Big Ten slate. And as I said a couple weeks ago, now the leagues are so big, it's almost as if you're winning the Big Ten and the Pac-10 in the same year. So just extremely proud of our guys. Once again, the game didn't go like we hoped. Obviously, Adai and Merez battling foul trouble, but we found enough, and we found enough in the tank, and we found some different ways to create enough offense and defense to get out of here against an extremely talented Michigan State group.
For Yaxel to do what he did when you needed him with the foul trouble that you mentioned, and then also on senior day, and you can tell how much Michigan means to him, and the fans reciprocate that. Can you speak to that kind of special performance?
Yeah, I've been around this game for a long time, and I've been around players for 4 years that don't leave a great legacy where they just left, or 2 years or 3 years, whatever the case. And so with us, we want these guys, if they're in here for 1 year or 5 years or 6 years, barring an injury, we want them to leave this place better than they found it. We want them to have an impact. And when you walk around Ann Arbor and you ask anyone about Yaxel Lindenberg and the type of imprint he's left here, it's phenomenal, just because of who he is on a daily basis. Excited for the awards to come out, because I think he's going to be justly recognized for how important he's been to our team and the University of Michigan. So we're very, very proud that he joined us for what could be his last year of college basketball. There's still some court cases pending.
Namari, Roddy, even Will contributed. Can you just talk about how satisfying it was to see those guys have such a big moment on this stage?
Extremely. And like I said, those guys are all great teammates. And don't get me wrong, everyone in our locker room would like to have more individually. Everyone would. Every player probably in all of college basketball would like to have more shots, more points, more accolades that comes with it. But these guys have put all that to the side. Even, they've had to stand up and say that no, we're doing it this way as a group. We're committed to it. And I think when you have a group of leaders, seniors especially, that are sacrificing when the road is ending for them soon as far as college basketball, to continue to sacrifice and put winning above their own personal ambition, it shows the character that they've developed well before they came here with their parents and their mentors and those that have poured into our guys, because we're all here because we received a lot from others.
Yeah, Dusty, you guys just accomplished everything that you have, and you just said now it's time to quickly turn the page. So as far as everything else, the rest of the way, what is it like going into the postseason knowing that you guys are the hunted and not as much the hunters?
Either one, whatever. Like we're excited to be playing. We're we're going to have to play 3 really good basketball teams if we win the Big Ten tournament. And then if we achieve our goals, we're going to have to beat 6 excellent basketball teams on the way to a national title. So as far as the hunter or being hunted, it's the same for us. We're obsessed with playing great basketball possession by possession. And, other than the time and score stuff, we encourage our guys, just let's separate from the scoreboard. Let's play good ball, get lost in the fight, and see where we are.
And then the idea, sorry, one more. The idea of championship or bust can be different depending on who it is. I mean, do you subscribe to that? Do you not? What do you think about
What's busted?
not getting a championship? I guess.
We want to compete for a championship. And so whatever's busted. If it's a hypothetical, I don't know, what are those bubble machines, the pop in the air, or what's busted? No, we're going to go on our journey. We're going to do the absolute best we can. And we've said from day one that, when we felt the weight of expectations on our backs, we said, fellas, we're not playing for other people's expectations. We're not playing for that. Now, because of our ceiling is so high, if we stay healthy, yes, we can beat anyone in the country on a given night, and we're going to try to do that. But if we fall short at some point, then the only regret would be is we didn't give our best.
You guys finished 19 and 1 in the Big Ten. There's still this stat where if you took your single-digit losses or wins and turned them into losses, you still win the Big Ten outright. How did this team do that in such a high-variance sport?
I think our depth is important, and our strength in numbers allowed us the last 8 or 10 minutes of games to separate. And we have big-time players that perform the best in the biggest of moments. So, you're up 5 in a game where they have to start fouling with a minute or 2 left. If your guys make their free throws and then they're capable of getting a stop, those 5-point leads can be 12 or 13 pretty easily. And then, we've had several games this year where we were able to play so well early. We had a lot of separation. And then, like I said, when we did go to the bench 8 or 9 minutes to go in a lot of the games early on, that group showed how good they were at playing basketball and just continued to expand the lead. So I think those are it. But once again, we don't talk about those things all that much. We have talked about the 19-1 and going undefeated on the road because those are record book type of things. But it's more of if we're straying or we're getting too emotional, it's just something to regroup us versus that's not the topic of conversation. Us trying to figure out a way not to foul Jeremy Fears and get back in transition and block out Cooper and Kohler and those guys was much more important to us than all that other stuff.
Dusty, as you mentioned, the statistical models and the polls and the media didn't have you guys doing this at the start of the year. Did you see this forming before the start of the year, or did it catch you off guard as much as everybody else?
The way we played so early, yeah, I thought we would get there gradually. And, before Vegas, I told the group, I said, we're about to erupt. Now, it might not be this game or this tournament, but, we can see it brewing, but we just weren't there. And then something about Vegas, it was that road trip where the guys were just so connected as a group. Then we showed what we could be. And from then on, we've played pretty consistent basketball. And it takes some mental stamina to go through a Big Ten slate like our guys did. And I want to give the staff a lot of credit. They pushed at the right times, and they stepped back at the right times. And, we have a player-led locker room. And it's not one guy leading our locker room. It's not 2. It's everyone. Leadership is open to everyone in our locker room. And these guys have a real way about them, and the other guys that don't want to lead can be led because they know the person who's speaking up or trying to hold them accountable has our best interest at heart, not any personal best interest.
Hey, Coach. You kind of touched on it before, but Moraz and Adai have gotten into foul trouble 3 or 4 times this season, and it's impacted you guys. And it's clear that teams are kind of hunting that. What are you kind of telling them, or what are you doing going forward to try to mitigate that in postseason play?
It's case by case. We've been working on different zones and different defenses and other contingencies in case it happened. But we just felt like tonight, if we can just make sure the game is manageable, then we could get to the second half with a die. And then we just felt like sometimes with that halftime, it's just, it's not as if playing with 30 seconds left to go in the half and versus 30 seconds after the half is any difference as far as the analytics, but it's just that mental barrier that we're in the second half. We can play with aggression. But yeah, in LA, it's another one. We've challenged LA repeatedly. He has to make his fouls count. And it's the same thing with the die. He can't get a foul trying to post up at 18 feet, which then the second one, I don't know what happened on the second one, but then that one becomes so much more impactful because of the first one. And so those are the ones we have to let. If we're going vertical on a shot and they feel like he came down to block it, we can live with those. We just can't live with the mental air fouls, and it's going to be even more important moving forward.
Yeah, Dusty, Duke Carolina, last game of the year always is. This is 2 years in a row now, Michigan State, the last game. Do you think that is where it's headed? And could you also address perhaps the toxicity of this rivalry? Tom Izzo upset in his post-game presser about the little brother taunting. And where do you think this rivalry is headed? Do you think it's getting a little overboard?
Okay. Is it? No, I think it's a great rivalry. I think it's a lot of fun. I didn't know how big this rivalry was, and I know I caught a lot of heat from last year when I didn't know their traditions after senior night. I knew they kissed the floor. I thought it was after the game. I assumed it was just like everyone else, where after the game you go through ceremony, kind of how we did. But I didn't know our own traditions here. I mean, I think if anyone knows me, I don't even know when holidays are. Like, I don't, and so I can be, whatever, criticized for it, whatever, and I probably need to do a better job on all fronts. But no, I mean, obviously, there's some chants throughout student sections that I don't agree with. I wouldn't want to say, and I don't like them with kids in. But you turn on your TV, it's part of the competitive environment. Is it toxic? I don't know. I thought those players on the court, both games, battled. I thought last year when they swept us, they battled and they earned it. Like, that's what I said last year. Like, man, they kicked our butt. They made us better. They made us elevate our play and our preparation, our summer workouts, because we knew we weren't going to be able to do what we were doing and get over the hump. And now we're still not over the hump, because now we may see them again on Sunday. I think they'll be on the other side of the bracket. But, I don't know. I'm just you show up and you do the best job you can.
Would you like it the last game of the year?
Yeah, yes, I do. I like it. I think it's fun. What did they think?
I'll ask him later on.
Yeah, just like Duke and Carolina, I know it's great for the game if there's a better time for it. But look, if you said we're going to do it in January and February, I'd be okay with that. If you say it, I don't really worry about anything that I don't have control over. Like, literally, if I don't have control over it, I don't care. If they ask me, I'll tell them. But no, I don't. I defer to all those guys. When we talk about 18 teams or 14 teams in the Big Ten tournament, I defer, because I hadn't put much thought or research behind those things.
Dusty, what was the exchange like with Coach Izzo after the game, or any words exchanged or anything?
Just normal stuff. Congrats on a Big Ten championship. That was it. Yeah, you guys, you're like, I'm worried about our team and our program, period. So, look, the 30 years or whatever they've been going to the tournament every year, and the way those guys play every single year, and look, and a lot was made of Jeremy Fears. Jeremy Fears Jr. is a heck of a basketball player. He's a winner. He's an elite thinker. He's an elite processor. He's an all-American quarterback on the court for those guys. And so it's great to compete against the best. He's made us better as well. So, hats off for them to do what they did in the Big Ten. I second place, 18 teams. I think, are they in second? Somebody help me. Second place out of 18 teams. I felt pretty good in year one that we got second in the Big Ten, with the respect I have for these coaches and teams. But trust me, they're gonna be coming after us next year, and we're gonna be coming after them.
Yeah, and this kind of goes with what you've been talking about. But some people would look at, from just a strictly Big Ten champion standpoint, this game is meaningless. Can you talk about how meaningful it is in this rivalry?
I mean, that's kind of like that fictitious bubble. I don't know anyone that said this game was meaningless. I'm not trying to be.
Yeah, I just mean it didn't impact the Big Ten standings or anything like that, but just.
Yeah, I think if we're 17th and they're 18th and we're 17th, I think the game means something. So I think we're going to compete. Like, it means a little bit more because of the energy that goes with this game. Rivalries are awesome for the sports. Awesome for the sports.
When is the celebration planned, and does that add a little pressure to actually go out? And when were you guys going to do this, win or lose tonight?
Which part?
The banner and the confetti and
Yeah,
everything?
they asked the other day, they said if we can get a banner here in time, do you guys want to drop it? And I said, as long as we do everything after the game, I want our guys focused on 40 minutes of ball, and then whatever happens after that. And it's not as if we lost this game that we didn't win the Big Ten. So yeah, I mean, that's something our guys have earned. And if they didn't want to do it, then we wouldn't have. But I can't imagine any scenario where they didn't earn a Big Ten championship and not want to at least celebrate with their families. Because that's the best part. You see their friends, families, aunts, uncles, grandparents on the court for those moments. I mean, that's something they'll never forget.
Oh, Coach, you said earlier that this was a player-led team. Is there an unsung hero that we don't know about that's been leading the team so far this year?
Man, I could go down the line. I really could, but I'm gonna give a tip of the cap to our seniors. They've led like guys that want to go out. the right way, and the memories of them at this university are going to be all fond, all smiles, all happiness because of what they gave to this place. All of our mercenaries have outperformed. They've outperformed everything across the board, and as a program, we try to under promise and over deliver, and so that's what our guys have done.
And how long do you bask in this championship until you move on to the tournament?
There's no basking. We got a lot of work to do. I'm excited to watch the film, see what we need to do to get better. We don't know who we're going to play, but we have some things now that we'll have some time to practice and work on us this week. We have some things we have to fix that we haven't had the time to do it.
To go 8-24 to now 29-2, what does that say? Like, what does that turnaround say about your long-term vision for a program? And is that something that maybe other struggling programs could potentially do as well, or is it something specific to Michigan?
I mean, obviously, it's I've done it both ways. I took a job. I hate it when these coaches get up here and say I and I and I. We took the job at FAU, and we got a couple grad transfers because we wanted a few. I think we needed 10 players, and so we took a couple grad transfers at that point because we needed some older guys, and we wanted to balance our classes. And that was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, and so things are a lot different. Yes, it's easier to do it now and rebuild it quicker. It's easier than it was, but easier doesn't mean it's not incredibly difficult. And a lot of great work by a lot of people have poured into this. Our donors, our administration, our coaching staff. Like, we're a team ourselves, and so all that has went into this. But the 8-24 had that was a group that went through a lot, and it just didn't work out well for them. And this team did something special. Congratulations. Sure. Before you put that hat on to walk and put your dad hat on for senior, yeah. Did you hit the emotions on that before you completely turned the page on tonight? Yeah, I mean, look, there's a stat, I forget what it is. I think Tim Ferriss said it. Like, when your kids leave high school, they leave your house in high school, you've spent like 90% of your time with your kids you've spent 90%. So you have 8 or 10% left the remainder of your life. And Ann and I started family young, so we're probably not. It's probably not to that extent. But the only thing I can think about is like, man, Charlie's not going to be in practices. He's not going to stop by the office next year. I'm not going to. He came out to the house last night and watched games and whatnot. So that's where my dad hat was like, man, this is a moment that I'm not gonna see him every day. So that was the sadness part. Luckily, we still have Eli around, but that's what I was thinking. And we were very appreciative that our families send us their kids and trust us to help them become better men and better players and better citizens. And so his mom's done a great job. I'll give her that. Thank you, guys.